Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Saggamokadang Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Badhanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Badhanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Badhanta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Yang kinci rupang atitanagata paccupannang ajantang va bahidda va olarika va sukuma va yandhure santike va etang rupang netang mama neso hamasmi neso me yattati yata bhutang sammapanyaya Daddhabbanti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear listeners, subject to the discourse today, Maha Rahulovada Sutta, the greater. In that one occasion, the Blessed One was staying at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, another Pentecost monastery. Then the Blessed One, early in the morning, put on his robes and, carrying his bowl and outer robe, went into Savatthi for alms. And Venerable Rahula, early in the morning, Venerable Rahula means the Lord Buddha's late times son, one and only son. Early in the morning, put on his robes and, carrying his bowl and outer robe, went into Savatthi for alms, following right behind the Blessed One, the Lord Buddha. Then to Savatthi for alms, following right behind the Blessed One, the Lord Buddha. Then the Blessed One, looking back at Rahula, and addressed him, Rahula, any form whatsoever that is past, future, or present moment, internal or external, gross or subtle, common or sublime, far or near, every form is to be seen as it actually is with right discernment, as this is not mine, this is not myself, this is not what I am. What is this? Lord Buddha turned back and asked to Venerable Rahula, you need to see all kind of forms. Forms mean the material, all materials, like we can say visuals, sounds, tastes, then smells, tangible, all kind of things what we can find in the earth. But some things may be solid, some things may be liquid, something as temperature, something as air. Those all kind of things. We can tell this all kind of things in this category. How, if some forms included in this 11 category. What are those? There is 3 about the time, another 9 about, another 8 about the space. What are the time? The 3 of time, the past, future, and the present. And the space, ajantangwa bahidava, that means internal or external. Olarikawa sukumawa, gross or subtle, rough or smooth, like that. Then ajantangwa bahidava, olarikawa sukumawa. Ajantangwa bahidava, olarikawa sukumawa. Yadure santikeva. That means, and something's good or bad, and near or far, those all kind of things, all kind of forms, all kind of matters. We must see with the right discernment. Those are not mine. Those are not myself, and those are not what I am. Then Venerable Rahula asked from Lord Buddha, my Lord, just form. Am I only need to contemplate on just form, just matters? Then Lord Buddha said, not only the form, as well as the sensations, perceptions, volitional activities, and cognitions. About this, all 5 clicking aggregates, about this Panchakanda, you need to practice like this. Then the thought occurred to Venerable Rahula, who, having been exhorted face to face by the Blessed One, would go into the town for alms today. So he turned back and sat down at the foot of a tree, folding his legs crosswise, holding his body erect, and sitting mindfulness to the fore, put his mindfulness to the front. In that time, now very erect body. This much erect body is much important to the mindfulness of in and out breathing. So in that time, Venerable Sariputta saw Venerable Rahula sitting at the foot of a tree, his legs folded crosswise, his body held erect, and with the mindfulness sat to the front. On seeing him, he said to him, Rahula, develop the meditation of mindfulness of in and out breathing. That may be Venerable Sariputta means the Lord Buddha's first-hand disciple. Maybe he may like the Anapanasati. So that's why he asked Venerable Rahula to do the Anapanasati meditation. While he is meditating, he tell very slowly, Rahula do Anapanasati like that way. Then Venerable Rahula, emerging from his seclusion in the late afternoon, went to the Blessed One and, having bowed down, sat to one side. As he was sitting there, he said to him, how, Lord, is mindfulness of in and out breath pursued? so as to be of great fruit, of great benefit. How to do this anapanasati up to great fruits and great benefits? So in that time, he asked about the mindfulness of breathe in and out breathing, but Lord Buddha has given another answer. We will discuss about it later. Now, what was the Lord Buddha's answer? His answer was, he immediately changed the topic anapanasati to the Dathu Manasikaraya, the attention on elements. Lord Buddha immediately answered like this way: Rahula, anything internal within oneself that's hard, solid, sustained by craving, what are those? Head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, tendons, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, membranes, spleen, lungs, large intestines, small intestines, contents of the stomach, feces, or anything else internal within of the stomach, feces, or anything else internal within oneself that's hard, solid, and sustained. This is called the internal solidity, internal patavi dhatu. That we called internal solidity, solid property. Now both the internal solid property, patavi dhatu, and the external solid property, the external patavi dhatu, are simply solid property. Now Lord Buddha answered immediately without telling any reason, Rahula, there is some solid properties inside and the outside. What are solid and sustained? Those are the things. So what are the internal solid properties? That is head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, skin, and etc. We must put in our mind, Lord Buddha's meditations are really focused on the Lord Buddha's meditations can practice by 7 years old children also, because Lord Buddha's discourses and meditations are simple but very, very deep once we practice more and more. I'm talking about the meditations in the suttas, not the late traditions in suttas. Those are very simple, but once we comprehend, once we contemplate on those again and again, we feel, according to our wisdom, we can understand our own understanding, own wisdoms. It's very powerful. But it's simple for the appearance, not complicated, but very deep. So the internal solidity, internal solid properties are those things. And Lord Buddha asked him to, in like these internal solid properties, the external solid properties also same, like walls, curtains, windows, the other people's head, hair, like those things. Like these internal solid properties, The external solid property is also same, like walls, curtains, windows, the other people's head, hair, like those things, and the houses, vehicles, iron, trees, dogs, in the skin of dogs and bones of dogs, and etc. Those are external solid properties. Now he asks, no, both the internal solid property and the external solid properties are simply solid properties. Your nails also same. The some the trees also same. You just have a conceiving about your nail. This is mine. Not say, but we have a conceiving. Nails are mine. Oh, this is mine. Like that way. But nails will not say, I am yours. Hair also same. Because we just have a conceiving about our body parts. But as the solidity, internal solid properties also same, as well as external solid properties. We can comprehend it after we die, after our body become decay to the soil, until we will not understand the reality of the body and the life. So then Lord Buddha asked him to the reality of the body and the life. So then Lord Buddha asked him to those both are same, and that should be seen as it actually is present with right discernment, each and every part. This is not mine, this is not me, this is not myself. When one sees it thus as it actually is present with right discernment, one becomes disenchanted with the solid property, and makes the solid property fade from the mind. And close your eyes, and you can meditate one part by one part. Oh, the solid property, internal solid property is also same, external solid property is also same. What are the internal things? Oh, hair. Hair also same. And some things like hair in the jungle, those also same. Some things in some strings in the broom, it also like hair. This also solid, this also solidity. Those are same as the solidity. And once he understands this way, he feel, oh, this is not I, this is not my soul. Once he practice like this, that those things fade away from your mind. Normally, once we close our eyes, we can see a picture of our posture from our mind. But once you dispassionate, once the picture fade off from your mind, once you close your eyes and look at your body, you will not find you can't feel a perception about the body. The parts will disappear from your mind. Because conceiving is the most dangerous thing. So then again, Lord Buddha said, as well as, and what is this liquid property? The liquid, the liquid property may be either internal or external. What is the internal solid liquid property? Anything internal belonging to oneself, that's liquidity, then watery and sustained. Those are bile, phlegm, blood, sweat,
Your sound.
signs, urine, or anything that's liquid, watery, called the internal. Can you hear now?
Yes, Bante.
Now how many times distracted?
Just 3-4 seconds, not much.
All right. Now Lord Buddha firstly talked about the solidity, then he talked about the liquidity. So those things, bile to urine, those type of things, or anything, those type of things, or anything else internal within oneself, that's liquid, watery, and sustained. This is called the internal liquid property. Now, both the internal liquid property and the external liquid property are simply liquid property, isn't it? Our bile, urine, phlegm, those also liquid. And the water, some muddy, and some milk, some juice, or something, all kind of those things, or tea, those are also liquid. From the liquidity, by the liquidity, the urine are same as from the liquidity, but we just have a conceiving about those are mine, but it's just a conceiving. So by the liquidity, internal also same, external also same. So after that, Lord Buddha asked to, and that should be seen as it actually is present with right discernment. This is not mine, this is not me, this is not myself. When one sees it thus, as it actually is present with right discernment, one becomes disenchanted with the liquid property and makes the liquid property fade from the mind. Like you meditate like this, the blood, there is a liquid properties. Blood also liquid property. Water also liquid property. As the liquidity, blood also same, water also same. Those are liquid. Like that, once you comprehend like this, the conceiving about myself, or conceiving about your thing, conceiving about the blood as mine, this will cease, because you can understand, oh, the blood is not mine, is not me, is not myself. In this manner, Lord Buddha preached about the fire, or the temperature also. And what is the temperature property? The temperature property may be either internal or external. What is internal temperature property? Anything internal belongings to oneself, that's temperature or fiery or sustained, that by which is warmed, aged, consumed. Uh, those are four things. One is the warm, the internal. Those are four things about four temperature properties inside. Those and the warm, what aging our body. That is second one, like decaying our body parts day by day, and consumed with fever. That one also, and that by which what is eaten, drunk, achieved, and uh, savored gets properly digest. Those are the fourth one. Those are four temperature properties. One is body warm, then the temperature of aging, and other one is temperature once we feel fever, and the fourth one is the digesting warm. Those are we called the digesting warm. Those are we called the temperature property. So Lord Buddha asks to those four or anything else internal within oneself, that's temperature, fiery, sustained. This is called the internal temperature property. Now, both the internal temperature property and external temperature property are simply temperature property. And that should be seen as it actually is present with right discernment. This is not mine, this is not me, this is not myself. When one sees it actually is present with right discernment, now becomes disenchanted with the temperature property and makes the temperature property fade from the mind. By the final of this meditation, also someone can achieve the stilling of all preparations of the mind. That means Nibbana. So those all things are focused on the stilling of all preparations. Firstly, body fade away from the mind. Then we have to fade away the sensations. Then we have to fade away the perceptions, volitional activities, and cognitions. Once the cognitions also fade away by detaching, that moment we call it the stilling of all preparations, Sabba Sankhara Samatha. So, as an example, one person can meditate. Oh, this my body warm, also temperature. The temperature in the environment, also temperature. As by the temperature, those both are same. Then he will understand, oh, this temperature is not mine, no, it's not me, it's not myself. Is it just a conceiving as mine? Lord Buddha's intent is cut this duality as internal and external. He need to close this, vanish this duality. Because how is the internal, external also same? How is the external, internal also same? Those both are are same by the liquidity, solidity, temperature, and air. Then after that, and what is the air property? The air property may be either internal or external. What is the internal air property? Anything internal belonging to oneself, that is air or windy and sustained, upgoing, those are upgoing winds, downgoing winds, and which and air in the stomach, air in the intestines, then air that goes through the body, in and out breathing, or anything else internal, like like that while some people while eating, they feel, I don't know the English word, like like that the air comes up, comes up, and some air go from the backside, and uh, some air is in the stomach, and some air is in our intestines. So some air goes through the body, like some air goes to work with our body, like to use our hands and legs. We can do by air, and the in and out breathing. Those are the internal air properties, or anything else. Uh, we can do by air, and the in and out breathing. Those are the internal air properties, or anything else. Air property. Then Lord Buddha asks us to now both the internal air property and external air property are simply air property. Internal also same, external also same. The air in the body also same, the wind also same. Those are air, both are air. And that should be seen as it actually is present with right discernment. This is not mine, this is not me, this is not myself. Air property, and makes the air property fade from the mind. Then he feels now he cannot find about air property by the mind. His mind becomes like empty, step by step. Then Lord Buddha goes to the last one, the space property. It is, and what is the space property? The space property may be either internal or external. What is the internal space property? Anything internal belonging to oneself, that is space, spatial and sustained, the wholes of years, anything internal belonging to oneself, that is space, spatial and sustained, the wholes of ears, the wholes of nostrils, the mouth, the passage where what is eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted get swallowed, the passage, and where that means the holes in our body, like those systems. And where it collects, and where it is anus and those all types of holes, and private areas, those holes are the space property in internal. Then Lord Buddha, or anything else. This is called the internal space property. Now both the internal space property and external space property are simply space property. Now, if you meditate, my nose holes also same, the sky space also same. As the space, those are both are same, both are same, both are same. The sky also space, nose also space. Then he feels very, very huge uh, emptiness in the mind. And that should be seen as it actually is present with right discernment. This is not mine, this is not me, this is not myself. When one sees it thus as it actually is, present with right discernment, one becomes disenchanted with the space property and makes the space property fade from the mind. After that, Lord Buddha again advised to Venerable Rahula, as Rahula, develop the meditation in tune with earth. Tune your mind as the earth. Tune your mind as the earth. Because for when you are developing the meditation in tune with earth, agreeable and disagreeable sensory impressions that have arisen will not stay in charge of your mind. Just as when people throw what is clean or unclean on the earth, like feces, urine, salvia, pus, and blood, the earth is not horrified, humiliated, or disgusted by it. In the same way, when you are developing the meditation in tune with earth, agreeable and disagreeable sensory impressions that have arisen will not stay in charge of your mind. So you need to tune your mind as the earth, as the same as how you have to meditate, and you have to tune your mind as water. How water works. We throw the good and bad things, but water will not humiliated or horrified by it. Like that way, once you practice like this, the, the thoughts will not come. Those thoughts will not stay in your mind as in charge of the mind. And tune your meditation, tune your mind as the wind, tune your mind as the temperature, and tune your mind as the space, as the space. For when you are developing the meditation in tune with space, agreeable and disagreeable sensory impressions that have arisen will not stay in charge of your mind, just as space is not established anywhere. In the same way, when you're developing the meditation in tune with space, agreeable, disagreeable sensory impressions that have arisen will not stay in charge of your mind. So after that, Lord Buddha has given some another advices also. Those are developing the meditation of loving kindness, metta. For when you are developing the meditation of loving kindness, ill will be abandoned. Your ill will be abandoned. Then again asks to, for when you are developing the meditation of compassion, cruelty will be abandoned. and develop the meditation of sympathy in others' welfare, the mudita. For when you are developing the meditation of sympathy in others' welfare, resentment will be abandoned. Resentment means maybe you feel some jealousy or something, you feel not to practice Dhamma properly. Those type of things will abandon by meditating the mudita. Develop the meditation of equanimity. For when you are developing the meditation of equanimity, the irritation will be Buddhas to develop the meditation of unattractive, asubha. For when you are developing the meditation of the unattractive, passion will be abandoned. Developing the meditation of the perception of inconsistency, like impermanence. For when you are developing the meditation of the perception of impermanence or inconsistency, the conceit of I am will be abandoned. So after those all things, Lord Buddha asked him to do the anapanasati, mindfulness of in and out breathing. Until that, Lord Buddha didn't give the chance, didn't give the allow. Until that, Lord Buddha didn't give the chance, didn't give the allow, didn't allow to do the meditation, mindfulness of in and out breathing. Because we cannot say the same meditation will good for everyone. Anapanasati is just a famous meditation, that's it. But it is not good as a beginner. So that's why Lord Buddha give the Anapanasati as the final. And this Anapanasati is the most powerful Anapanasati because it will achieve the great fruits. It will achieve the great benefits. That is that 16 steps Anapanasati meditation. What I taught earlier. You can read the sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, sutta called Maha Rahulovada Sutta. So it says in this way. It again explains the 16 steps of Anapanasati. How and how Rahula is mindfulness of in and out breathing developed and pursued so as to be of great fruit, of great benefit. Then Lord Buddha again he answered, there is the case where a monk, having gone to a wilderness or to the shade of a tree or to an empty building, sit down, folding his legs crosswise, holding his body erect, and setting mindfulness to the fore, always mindful. He breathes in, or he in mindful, he breathes out. Breathing in long, he discerns, I am breathing in long. Or breathing out long, he discerns, I am breathing out long. The second step, or breathing in short, he discerns, I am breathing in short. Or breathing out short, he discerns, I am breathing out short. The third one, he trains himself. I will breathe in, I'll experience the whole body. Thus he trains. I experience the whole body. He breathes in, and I experience the all body. He breathes out. He trains like this way. The fourth one will breathe in I will tranquilize the breathe in, he breathe in. I will tranquilize the breathing, he breathes out. So fifth one, he trains himself. I'll breathe in sensitive to rapture. He trains himself. I will breathe out sensitive to rapture. And the sixth one, he trains himself. I will breathe in sensitive to pleasure. He trains himself. I will breathe out sensitive to pleasure. Seventh one, he trains himself. I will breathe in sensitive to the mental preparations. Those are sensations. Self. I will breathe in sensitive to the mental preparations. Those are sensations and perceptions. I did a long explanation in Anapanasati Sutta. Like until now, he look at the sensations, rapture and pleasure, as a thing, as I am feeling, I am experiencing. But in the seventh step, he look into the sensation, look at into this rapture and pleasure as an external one, like. Externally, he look at into this rapture, that sensations and the perception, what perceive that sensation. So those are we call mental preparations. How I will breathe out sensitive to mental preparations. The eighth one is he trains himself. I will breathe in tranquilizing the mental preparations. He trains himself. I will breathe out tranquilizing the mental preparations. The ninth one, he trains himself. I will breathe in sensitive to the mind. He trains himself. I will breathe out sensitive to the mind. He trains himself. I'll be breathing then the 10th one is I'll breathe in glading the mind, and he breathes out, he trains, I will breathe out glading the mind, like satisfying, glading, like satisfying, glading, like concept like that. The 11th one is he trains himself, I will breathe in breathe in like a steadying the mind, breathing steadying, or now once you be glading, then you again collect the mindfulness, collect the mind to a small way, like that way, steadying or tranquilizing again, and steadying the mind. And he trains, I'll breathe out steadying the mind. The 12th one is he trains himself, I will breathe in liberate the mind, and he trains himself, I will breathe out like liberating or releasing the mind, like releasing the mind. The 13th one is he trains himself, I will breathe in out, focusing on inconsistency. And the 14th one is he trains himself, I'll breathe in, focusing on dispassion. He trains himself, I'll breathe out, focusing on dispassion. The 15th one, he trains himself, I will breathe in, focusing on cessation. He trains himself, I will breathe out, focusing on cessation. The 16th one, the last one, he trains himself, I will breathe in, focusing on relinquishment. He trains himself, I will breathe out, focusing on relinquishment. This, Venerable Rahula, is how mindfulness in and out breathing is developed and pursued as so as to be of great fruit, of great benefit. When mindfulness of this way, even one's final in breath and out breaths are known as they cease, not unknown. That is what the Blessed One said. Gratified, the Venerable Rahula delighted in the Blessed One's words. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. In this way, by this relinquishing the mind, relinquishing experience and relinquishment, after the 16th stage, anyone is there a possibility to attain the stilling of all preparations? That means the Nibbana. Nibbana can be experienced by the Sotapanna person as to his level, and the Sakadagami person according to his level, and the Agami and Arahants for their level. So I wish you all to be person as to his level, and the Sakadagami person according to his level, and the Agami and Arahants for their level. So I wish you all to be feel the fearfulness of samsara and do more effort to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this very life. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.